school. I was really tired last night. I don't know, this radiology stuff, I don't know if it's because it's new, you know, like completely different than anything I've ever done before. I don't know, I guess I'm just having a little bit of a hard time wrapping my mind around some of the things. Like, I get the terminology because it's mostly anatomical terms, but the actual doing of the x-rays is not the x-rays, but like looking at the x-rays, the actual radiographs, and trying to determine, you know, is it a good one, which that I can usually do, I think. I mean, we have to check our answers, so I don't know if I was right all the time, but what you can do to fix it is kind of where I'm having issues. Like, I don't really know how you would fix that, so we'll see. So yeah, that's radiology today, and then I'm going to study. I don't know if I'm going to stay at school, if I'm going to come home, and then I have tomorrow is a preclinical lab, and I will get to, I was in the group, so she split the class into 2 groups yesterday, and half the class went ahead into the clinic and got to set up and practice set up and breaking down the operatory, and then half the class is going to be working on what we did yesterday, which was ergonomics, and they call it clock positioning. So for certain areas, when you're working on certain teeth and areas of the mouth, you have to be, in order to keep yourself in, you know, proper ergonomics, and to make sure that your patient is comfortable, they have you position yourself at different clock positions around the patient's head. So it's very interesting, and you know, kind of to see, you know, what you're, you know, how to sit and hold your body in order to reach different things. And it's kind of a little bit counterintuitive, because some of the things they'll say, so if you need to work on a certain area, you think you might have to have the patient turn towards you, but actually, in order to see that area of the mouth, they need to turn away from you, which is, so it's just, you know, again, it's more of things that are just different. I mean, it's nothing that, you know, time and practice and everything won't make it so I understand, but it's just kind of one of those, it's like, there's just more things that are, it's like, just so many things you have to think about and learn, but, you know, it's the same thing with practice. You know, they gave us, yesterday, along with our instruments, we got clean typodonts. So the typodonts that we bought were periodontal typodonts. So they have different problems with them, like receding gums and stuff like that, which will allow us to use our instruments to the fullest, because when we're at home, we can practice, you know, okay, this is the instrument that I would need to use to do that. This is the instrument I would need, you know, that sort of a thing. But with the clean typodont, they want us, so the periodontal typodonts have gums, so, and lips, and, well, they all have gums. So they have lips, the pink kind of outer part that goes around the teeth. I'll show you guys in my instrument video, but, you have to work with those on retracting, using the mirror to retract the lips, and the cheeks. But with the clean typodont, all it is teeth and gums, and there's no receding gums. There's nothing that you have to worry about as far as that goes. So you can really practice the teeth are all perfect. They're all in line. So you can practice your clock positioning. You can practice, how I would hold my instrument in order to reach these areas, that sort of a thing. So they gave us those. Those are owned by my school, and we just have to, we check them out, and then we'll have to turn them in at the end of the semester. So it's kind of cool because, it's just one more thing to practice on. And so having that means that I can put it on the stand that we have and really practice, okay, so if I'm working on this area, where would I have to be? And that sort of thing. So, yep, just more practicing. So, as much time as you spend in class, they tell you in college that you need to spend 2 to 3 hours for every credit hour of class. And sometimes I felt like that, and sometimes I didn't. Well, this is, seriously, you're doing 2 to 3 hours if you are doing it right and really making sure that you're giving yourself the best chance to know these things. So, all right, guys. Well, I will talk to you after class. Man, my hair, I look like a hot mess. Whew. Hey, guys. So I just finished with radiology, and I am hot. Oh, it's so hot out here. See, my car says it is 89, but it sure feels hotter than 89, especially when you're wearing dark scrubs. Ugh. But anyways, so we are done with lab. It went really well. I found out that so we did today, we worked on doing the periapicals of the anteriors. So that is going to be, your front teeth, and doing the vertical pictures. Well, and they actually did really good. It's hard when you're working with so there's 2 different receptors that you use for adults, a size 1 and a size 2. And the size 2 you want to use more on, use those in the back more. And the reason why is because they're bigger. Only problem is that they're bigger, and then when you use the digital receptors, they are bigger and thicker. And trying to get it in Dexter's mouth, which he doesn't have, it's all plastic and that sort of thing, and his tongue does not move to the side so that you can kind of get down in the groove, kind of in the lower jaw area, so, the floor of your mouth. And so it's just kind of one of those, it's like, we think that working with real people will be easier, but the nice thing about working with Dexter first is that, man, allergies are really bad right now. Is that if you need to do a retake, he's not a human body, so you don't have to worry about radiation with Dexter. So you can do retakes as many times as you need to. You can reposition the receptor in the mouth, so more forward, more backward. It's amazing how just one microscopic little adjustment, on the angle of the receptor, so, just a little bit this way, a little bit that way, will, and then the actual little cone, you move that, at more of an angle, you move less of an angle, you move it, this way, that way. Every little thing, a little millimeter difference can make a complete difference on whether or not you have any overlapping of the teeth, and opening up the gaps in between the teeth and all that kind of stuff, so you can check for on the bike wing, so you can check for things like cavities, or caries is what they're called. And it's crazy. it is so precise. And she's like, it really is a science. And she said, and that's just using our RIN devices. She said, when you actually start using bites, something, I don't remember what it was called, but there's another one. There's RIN and then there's another one. And she said, if you use those, she's like, I've always really impressed by hygienists that can do that, because it is so much of an art, because they're bite tabs is what they're called, bite tabs, because if your patient really bites down on those tabs, it'll bend them, curve them like this, and so you'll get overlapping of the contacts of the teeth, which you don't want. It makes them undiagnosable. You can't use those in, the doctors can't send those into insurance companies for proof. So, yeah, she said, that so with what we're doing is easier, that's even harder, and we're already having problems with overlapping. I mean, obviously this is only the second time I've ever taken x-rays in my life. And, we're learning it, hands-on. We're learning it as we are doing it, which is very fun, and I think, one of the best ways of doing it. But it is kind of crazy in that, oh my gosh, I'm sitting here doing this. And it's fun because you get instant, oh yeah, did that wrong, oops. And you have to, change it and switch it. And I mean, there's just so many details. So, but it's good. I am really excited about everything and what we're doing so far. Tomorrow, we are going to be going into, we have pre-clinic, and we are supposed to be going in and checking for, we're going to be setting up and breaking down the clinic. So I'm going to try, to me and leaving the house early. So I'm going to try to leave the house really early so I can get there really early and kind of have more time to check out where things are supposed to go and that sort of thing. But thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you later. Hey guys, it is 7:33 and I'm leaving my house on my way to preclinical lab this morning, where we're gonna get to practice setting up and breaking down the operatory, and then we'll probably work a little bit more on clock positioning. So yeah, so there you go. That's what I'm doing today. Oh, I worked. Oh, yesterday I took a quiz for pre-clinic and I got a 90. So yay! So I didn't do great on my first quiz in oral-facial anatomy, but I did good on this one. So that is a good thing. So I definitely, know how I need to study, and a lot of the girls were kind of upset, or, well, not upset, but just a little disappointed and frustrated because the questioning, the way the teacher wrote the questions, you have to pay attention to every single word, and not just like knots or something like that, or will always or never or anything like that. It's every single word in there makes a difference in what they're actually asking for. So it was, thank goodness I had a couple A&P teachers who would ask questions in the same manner, so I was kind of used to it. But it's still really hard to make sure you understand what they're asking for so that you can get the correct answer. So, but so that was good news. So I got a 90 on that quiz, and so I get to go in today feeling moderately confident, I guess. And so yeah, it's exciting. So I will talk to you guys after pre-clinic. Bye. Hi everybody, it is Friday, and so Friday afternoon after pre-clinic, and holy goodness, so that is 2 weeks of dental hygiene school done. Woo! So now, what do I know after 2 weeks? Holy goodness. Oh my gosh. The amount of things that I have learned in 2 weeks is like crazy. Like, I cannot believe the knowledge that we have after 2 weeks. So today in the in pre-clinic, we talked a little bit about doing patient histories. We talked about how to talk to our how we should interview our patients, because dental hygienists have so along with the going to the dentist in general, a lot of people have a stigma attached to the going to the dentist period. They don't like going to the dentist. It's scary to a lot of people. A lot of people have anxiety. There's a lot of anxiety attached to the dentist. And so along with that, the other stigma is dental hygienists have a stigma of being, the lecturers. You come in and, oh, you really should be flossing more, or that it's like, I know you're not brushing your, like you should, or gums, or your even stuff like smoking and, all of those things. A lot of people say, oh, I don't want to go to the dentist because my hygienist is just going to lecture me again about whatever it is, drinking sodas or tea or anything. And so we had a lecture today on, how to talk to our patients in a way that is not going to make them feel like they're being lectured, and make them protective or put up their, defensive instinct, to, kind of make the approach, patient-driven. One of the things that it really sounded like to me, they're like, we're going... one of the things that it made me think of, the way they presented it, was, if you ever saw My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where they said, men are the head of the household, but women are the neck, and they can turn the head any way they want. Basically, it's like, you have to make the man think it's his idea. Well, we're supposed to make our patients, kind of take their minds and make them, kind of take ownership of the, of their oral health, and make them want to take care of it as much as we want to take care of it. So it was really cool, and just the things that we've learned about anatomy, things we've learned about, how we're supposed to set up our operatories, things we've learned about radiography, so taking x-rays. I mean, I've taken bite wings and periapicals now. I mean, how cool is that? We learned about health patient histories, so taking what things we would need to write. We looked in, our school uses EagleSoft, so that's the patient software that we use. So we were working, looking in EagleSoft. So I've had 2 quizzes. The first one I didn't do so good on. The second one, so just this week, I had a quiz on Tuesday, and then I had a quiz yesterday, and I got, like I said, I didn't do well on the first one, and the second one I got a 90. So it was kind of one of those, like they keep telling us, you're not going to be experts the first time, but, I learned how they're asking questions, how I need to look at things, and so basically 2 weeks of dental hygiene school. I'm done with those. There's a lot of work coming up this weekend. I need to work on, we have to make drug cards. So I need to make drug cards. I have to do 3, so we have, in our radiology book, there are questions at the end of the chapter. And so we've got like 5 chapters worth of chapter review questions due on Monday. And I need to do workbook pages for oral facial anatomy and prepare for the online quiz. I believe it's an online quiz. I'm gonna have to look again. But yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of studying that I have to do this weekend. But you know, how exciting is that? 2 weeks done, and I'm learning a whole lot. And a lot of people told me, I was watching YouTubers and things, and they said, you know, you don't need to cram before school because you'll learn it, and you do learn it. Absolutely, it's amazing how much stuff I have learned just in these 2 weeks. So it can absolutely be done. And yes, it's a little bit crazy and it feels overwhelming, but at the end of the day, we're doing it, and I'm doing it, and you can do it too. If you want to do this, it doesn't matter if you've got kids, how old you are, it's a lot, and it comes at you fast, but you can do it. Just keep yourself organized and try not to sweat the small stuff. So they say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. So even if the first time, the first quiz, you don't get the grade you want, just don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Keep going, and we will do this. So I will see you guys on Monday. Bye.